All right, guys, this is our last section of notes for Unit 1. We are talking about physical and chemical properties. We are on this part of the notes, and we've done part of it, so we're down at the bottom of the page. So hopefully you can find that. I'm just going to review physical properties. We talked about it with density, but remember, these are things that we can observe, and we don't change the substance. Usually we will use our 5 senses, so looking at the color, size, shape, how much it weighs, the size, so again, that includes density. When something melts or boils, so changing the state of matter, so water, whether it is liquid water or frozen water or water vapor, it is still water, so we can still talk about these things as a physical property. And remember, this is how we separate those mixtures. And we separate mixtures by filtering out the big pieces. We can separate things by boiling them because, again, when something boils, we don't chemically change it. And we can see that separation also by using density. So that should all be review. Physical changes are any change of a physical property. So the substance doesn't change what it is, but we change some physical property. So we can change its size or its shape or its density, maybe its color. Some of these are a little sketchy, but in general, if you change these things, you can guarantee that it is a physical change. So making something smaller doesn't change it. Changing the shape of it, like crushing a can, it's still a can. And water is water, whether it is a solid, liquid, or gas. So basically, if you ask yourself, do I still have the same thing here, even though it might look different, then it's just a physical change. Okay, so chemical properties are where we're kind of picking up today. The ability to undergo a chemical change is a chemical property of that substance. For example, if something burns, that would be undergoing a chemical change. If it changes because of light, so fading colors, the reaction of photosynthesis is a reaction to light. If oxygen affects it, so things like rusting and again burning, we've done a chemical change. So in general, these are some basic physical properties. Luster is shininess. The second one is just changing the state of matter. Malleability means how bendable it is. Ductility is can it conduct electricity or heat. Again, state of matter kind of goes with melting and boiling. Density is how, if it's been affected by pressure, so it's still going to change. Does it dissolve in water or other things? So remember, making a mixture is a physical change. We're not doing a reaction to make a mixture. And what something smells like. Chemical properties are when we make a whole new substance. Did it burn? Did it explode? Is it poisonous? Does it have an acid base to it? And that's a charge. How does it react? So using this word react implies a chemical property. And then rusting is a common thing that we see, that reaction to oxygen. So we need to practice what are physical and chemical properties, which you will do on a super fun worksheet. Last thing is, how do you know a chemical change has happened? When we have a change, a chemical change, we make an entirely new substance. Some of the clues to know a chemical change has happened is energy is used, and that means it can be released or absorbed. So we don't really see sound or light being absorbed. So if sound is produced or if we see light, we know a reaction has happened. Heat can be released and it feels hot. Heat can also be absorbed and the reaction would feel cold. So any change in energy means a chemical change has happened. Color is kind of a vague one. I can take a marker, okay? I could take this and I could color all over my face and I'm a new color, but I'm not a new person. So sometimes doing a color change, you just put a color on top of another thing. So the key here is the word new. If I make a completely new color, for example, when I color my hair, they take my white hair and they put on a white lotiony looking stuff. So my whitish gray hair with a white product turns my hair brown. So I got a whole new color that wasn't there before. Then we know it's a chemical change. If I take this orange marker and I color my hair turns orange. It's not a new color. I just put this on top of my hair. That would be a physical change. So this is vague. Make sure you use the word new. Odor is the same way. I can put deodorant on or perfume on, and all of a sudden I have a whole new odor. Or I have an odor to me that wasn't there before, but it's not new. I simply would smell like my perfume or smell like my deodorant. When a brand new odor occurs that wasn't there before, then we have a new odor. For example, Smell your feet when you get out of the shower. They're probably going to smell like soap, so maybe give them a while and smell what your skin smells like. And I dare you to wear your shoes without socks all day, and your feet will get all sweaty. And there are bacteria on your feet. They're going to gobble up that sweat, and then that bacteria is going to excrete its bacteria waste product, and all of a sudden you have that nasty, stinky foot smell. It does not smell like your soap. It does not smell like your skin. You made a new odor because that bacteria is doing a chemical reaction. So if you have a whole new odor there, so your armpits smell like skin in the morning, maybe they smell like deodorant if you wear deodorant, and then you get all sweaty and you have a whole new odor. That's because of chemical reactions that are basically happening with bacteria in your armpits. We can talk a whole lot about stinky things caused by bacteria, but you have to wait for biology. If a gas is produced, so this isn't like pop. I can shake up pop and all of a sudden there's bubbles everywhere, but all I'm doing is releasing the gas that was in solution. You have to have a gas made that wasn't there before. The best example is that wonderful, put baking soda and vinegar together, you have a liquid, you have a solid, all of a sudden you have bubbles. So a gas is produced. So we have some key words here. The word new and the word produced are important when you're answering this question. A precipitate. A precipitate is a solid that forms from two liquids, or like rain, a liquid that's formed from a gas. So all of a sudden you have a new state of matter that falls out. So if you have two liquids and you stir them together and all of a sudden they become a solid, you have a precipitate formed. This is not the milk and Mountain Dew. When we did milk and Mountain Dew, all I did was neutralize a charge around the fat molecules and I turned a colloid into a suspension. So again, we have to be pretty careful. Formed means it wasn't there before. When I made that milk chunky with the Mountain Dew, those milk chunks were there, but they were tiny. I just made them stick together. So we'll do a whole bunch of this stuff in class, but this is your background information. And you need to do a worksheet, and then I will see you in the next class.